I'll just record here and then go live in the group. I'll keep you on at the end as well.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know when we're finished.
Beautiful. It looks like we are live. Good morning, everyone. Just let me do a double check. We always have to do a double check on these things. All right, let's have a look. Hopefully my internet stays up for everyone today as well. I know there were a few glitches yesterday. There we are. Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday for those of you in Australia, and happy Tuesday night for those of you in Canada and the US. I know that it is below freezing in Canada at the moment, and we are speaking to the very, very gorgeous Sacha this morning. Sacha is also in Canada. Good morning, lovely.
Good morning.
Now, for those of you who haven't met Sacha before, Sacha is part of the Innerfit team this year, and she is our resident body confidence coach. Ladies, you are in for an absolute treat this morning. Sacha's work is amazing, doesn't even begin to uncover what it is that you do, my darling. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I was just thinking, where is my Kleenex now that I'm sitting here? Speaking of the cold. Okay, good.
I got mine here
Hi. Yeah, you have a
too.
cold. I just live in the cold. So, speaking of me, I am in Alberta, Canada. I have a lovely husband who is very supportive, luckily, and one son who is 11 and a half almost to the day. So that is very interesting. I know we've been talking about different parts of women and what we go through, and I joke with my son that right now both of us are going through some pretty fun hormonal things at the exact same time, and I think sometimes my husband is just like, okay, what's going on here? And we're really good about being open and talking about things.
Yeah.
And, sometimes it's different emotions from 5 minutes to the next, but it's pretty cool watching me and my son navigate through and my husband kind of being confused. But um, I am a teacher by trade, which is similar to our lovely Amelia. I haven't been a full time teacher since having my son. And I have been a coach for over 10 years, unofficially, and officially for, I don't know, what would we even say, Amelia? I guess it's kind of the same thing,
Yeah.
officially and unofficially
Yeah.
for quite a while, specifically for women.
Mhm.
And it has been absolutely amazing. It is so fulfilling and something that just, I feel like it fulfills my life in a way that I didn't know that I needed. And I'm really looking forward to meeting you guys.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. It's so nice to connect and hear a bit more about your story too. Um, and for those that aren't in the Sweet Results community, watching Sacha work. Oh my goodness, it is absolutely phenomenal the work that she can do with women in and around the body confidence space. It's such a beautiful addition. So while I've got you here, Sacha, I would like to say a big thank you for everything that you do for our Innerfit community as well. And it's challenging. It's challenging raising kids, but with a boy as well, I'm sure your husband's like, what's going on? What's going on here? What's going on there? Um, it's a
And it's a
very,
mini, so even
sorry.
more, it's a mini him.
It's
So I've got the adult version and the kid version, so they have their fun together too. And I'm like, I know what's happening.
yeah, I know what's coming, probably.
Yes.
And I think it's interesting that, we talk a lot about women's health and women's hormones, and of course we need to, right? Because there's so much that we don't know or so much that's coming to light. But as we go on this journey, I think it's probably really good to remember what our partners and our husbands are going through as well, because they're learning at the same time as we are. And whether you've got boys or girls in the house as well, it's about teaching them about you, your body changes, but also what's happening with the kids. So I love that you touched on that point, because I think that's something that often gets forgotten is while we're navigating this and building our confidence and that of our kids, we've got a husband that's trying to survive all of that as well, or a partner or whoever it is that's trying to survive. So I love that you've raised that with us today.
No. He came home the other day from work and he drives a lot for work. And I can't remember what catalyst it was, but he said, "So I think what's happening right here is maybe some perimenopause." And I just stopped. Pardon me. It kind of feels like that's what I'm allowed to say. I don't know if you're allowed to say that. And I said,
I
"Where did
don't.
you hear this?" And he said, "I've been listening to a podcast."
Oh,
Yeah. So, and sometimes he actually can hear parts of my sessions, I think with
yeah,
you and the group.
yeah,
And he said, "Sometimes I feel like I should make a fake account to be a woman so I can be in your group and get coached," because he realizes the piece for confidence. It's a whole different thing, right? Like we're talking about women's confidence, the
yeah,
men's confidence, that's a whole nother piece. And I said,
yeah.
"Well, you kind of get me all the time. Like, feel free to ask me questions because
Oh,
it's true."
yeah,
And with, we learn about stress, we learn about hormones, we learn about gut health, and they are all amazing pieces to our life. But I feel like confidence and body confidence doesn't get talked as much,
no,
and it's just as important, but at the same time, people get very shy about it. Not, it's kind of ironic because it's about confidence, but it's not something that we like to talk about, right? We hear about it all the time, but what does it mean and why should it matter to me, right?
yeah. Yeah. And when you break it down like that, I'm just thinking now, like we're always told to you need to be more confident, have more confidence in yourself. Like you'll feel better, you're fine. You just need to be more confident. But I guess what we can unpack now is, but what does that mean? So how do we do that? And what does that mean behind, behind that phrase, just be more confident? So um I guess what do I want to ask you here? Um, I guess
I'm
so.
gonna
If we go on
I'm
to
gonna
that, well, what is one of the biggest confidence struggles that women face? Because that would be a good way to break that down. What are some of those biggest confidence struggles that you've seen that women do face?
Yeah. So what I see a lot is that women are always feeling like they have to earn their confidence badge, right? And I know that some people will relate to this in the replay or in the comments, but we're always waiting. So we're waiting until we get that job promotion to feel that way. We're waiting. Like, how many women have clothes in their closet and their drawers that are not suitable or fit them in the here and now because they're keeping them and they're waiting and waiting for being able to fit into that, right? So I feel like women are always waiting to be a certain size, have a certain goal, have their life together before they feel that they are allowed to be confident. And it's sad.
Yeah.
Something that I talk to people about, I know it was an aha moment for me. I actually just read it a few months ago, a quote, and I don't know who said it. That's my bad. I might have to track it down. But it was an aha moment for me and how I grew up that women right now, particular in their 40s and 50s, the generation who are our mothers were part of that, feminist movement when women could vote. And it was just such an impactful time for them that we grew up hearing that you can be anything that you want to be. And in our brains in the 80s and 90s and 70s, we took it as we have to do everything.
Yeah.
That was such an aha moment for me because I
Mm.
tried to do it all I try to do it all the best, right? Because prior to that, women couldn't do a lot of things or weren't allowed to do a lot of things. And so that movement came, and that's what we hear. You can do anything. And we switched it in our brains to you have to do everything.
Everything.
I love that too. But it just has really, once people hear that and start to think about it, it might make some of those small shifts that we need to do in order to give ourselves that permission to not do it all, pick what we want to do, allow ourselves to not be the best at everything, but realize like where are our boundaries? What what can we say no to? What can we say yes to? I believe one of the gals that you had this week was saying similar too. Like when you're saying yes, what are you saying no to? When you're
Yeah.
saying no, what are you saying yes to? We need to set those boundaries because as we do, our confidence is going to grow.
Yeah. Wow.
I know. That's how I felt. I was in the bath when I read it and I was like, and now I just need to sit here and contemplate life for a little while and unpack all of the stuff
Unpack that.
from childhood.
Yeah. That
Right?
that is so, in a good way, bang.
Right.
Yeah.
And then speaking of how important it is to talk to our kids what's happening, talk to our husbands and be the role model because we are allowing things to happen in our household. We're
Mhm.
allowing how we feel about ourselves. Like we're not a tree, we're not stuck. If you're feeling a certain way, you are allowed to venture out and get help and figure that out, right? But again, going back when you think about your childhood, maybe not everybody was like this, but I see a lot of our parents, our grandparents' generation, you couldn't talk about stuff. Like, there is no way in a million years I'd have a chat to my mom about confidence or
Mhm.
body confidence, but we really won't go there with diet culture as well growing up.
Yeah.
But mental health, that's not something you talk about or that our parents' generations and the grandparents' generations, right? That's
Menopause, perimenopause.
perimenopause, yet it's something that we literally all go through.
Yeah.
So it needs to be talked about because there's that power in community, like what you have here. That's a powerful thing to go through something together in a safe place. I went off on a tangent.
No, I love it. I think no tangents. And plus, hello, it's me. I'm the queen of tangents. I think that's brilliant. I think there's so much there to unpack. So let's talk a little bit about you. What inspired you to create this confidence program? Because it sounds like already I can tell this is such a passion of yours. So what inspired you to create it? And I guess who is it designed for?
Okay, so um it would be from like we talked a little bit about already, my own journey and unpacking the past and how I want my life to look like now and forward and just realizing people don't need to do that themselves.
Yeah.
So I second guessed myself. I had low self-esteem, low self-image, all of the good things. And then over the last decade and a half have really grown and this program is just this beautiful piece that has come from that. And so I want to be able to hold somebody hand in hand as they unpack a bit and go through their own stuff. I talked about my husband, who's actually my second husband. And so my first husband, maybe like things happen for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Because I might not be sitting here doing what I do if it wasn't for that and the stuff that came from that. Um, so I have this program now, and it's really customized for my clients to work through what they want for their body confidence. And the inner confidence goes hand in hand with that too. And often, what happens as I'm working with women is well, first of all, they so much comes from it that they don't realize needs to be worked on, but it's just a game changer, right? Because it's not something that a lot of women realize they're allowed to work on,
Yeah.
I guess. Like they think this is how it
Yeah.
is, this is who I am, but often that's not who you are. Who you are is underneath a couple of those layers. Who you are right now is because of the past and because of what's happening now. And because as women, we put on so many different hats, our job, wife, mom, we have so many hats. And the one that gets put on the back burner, of course, is ourself and our self care. And people, I would say most women I talk to at first don't think that they should or have time or that they're not allowed to have time to work on themselves because there's other things that need to happen first. So, what I do with my program is help women and teach women you can still have all of these pieces of your life and your hats, but let's prioritize. And you are one of the top priorities. Because without you feeling your best self, you're going to start to get sick. Been through that as well. You're going to get
Hmm.
burnt out. And then nobody, like being on the airplane, right? You have to put your own oxygen on first because else you're not going to be a good mom. You're not going to be a good wife. And all of the other things start to get unraveled. So
Yeah.
it's okay, and people should be prioritizing themselves and their self-care way more than they should, or that they are, sorry.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I love that. So your program includes something called the confidence wheel, is that correct?
Yes, the confidence wheel, one of my
Yeah,
favorite
because I
things.
saw that. Yeah. Can you tell us a bit about that and maybe how it helps the women, how it helps your clients?
Yeah. So the confidence wheel is something that I do the very first time, or I show them the first time that we work together, and we fill it out together, and it really shows the gaps of strengths and weaknesses and where we can start working. So let me see, because I have the list of the things that it covers. So we've got self talk, body image, energy levels, boundaries, personal
Mm.
passions. And so we can pinpoint what we're going to work on moving forward and prioritize that. And honestly, it's it becomes so much more. I know we've talked about this before because I almost said balanced and I just kind of despise that word. But
Yeah.
um it allows a woman to have a fully harmonized life where the pieces of her current life fit together and it works, and you just have, your best self image, your best energy levels, which, contrary to popular belief, is not just about how much sleep you get. And they walk away, within 60, 90 days feeling like a totally different person. And everybody around them can feel that. So the
Mm.
energy and the confidence wheel is just one of my favorite things to work on with women.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that's without touching the number on the scales, ladies. This is about who you are as you are. And this is not about, having to reach that number on the scale to have that confidence, as Sasha alluded to before, around having to be something or having to achieve that confidence badge. This is working on who you are. And I love that so much. I love it. You mentioned energy. So you mentioned in that confidence wheel, because I picked up on that about energy levels and rest. Why are those important when it comes to confidence?
When your rest and your energy aren't where they should be, which, let's face it, most women, it's not. I've really delved deeply into what's called the um, seven levels of rest.
Mhm.
So we think of sleep all the time, guaranteed. I know that I did previously. So there is sleep, but there's also How are you resting yourself spiritually? How are you resting yourself creatively? How are you resting yourself, the physical, of course? And it gives ideas of where you might be feeling more fatigue and worn out than you think you are. And that is going to all come together in your body confidence, your inner confidence. Because if you're not feeling the best, it's going to show, right? If you don't
Mm.
have good sleep or you didn't get to um, do your puzzle or your journaling or something like that, and the next day it's going to show up in your confidence. You're not going to feel like you're being your whole self. And so something that comes up a lot is being that complete woman. So again, it's not about the balance, it's about the harmony, and how can you be your most complete self.
So how does that then tie into the overall self-love? And because we alluded to it before, that, wearing that badge of honor, how does that then, how does body confidence tie in then to that overall self-love and feeling good in your own skin now?
Okay, let me think about that because that's a
Mm.
really loaded question.
Yeah.
Thanks. um, it just it's funny to me because it feels so obvious now that when I've been doing this work, with people, but it just I love having those aha moments with ladies because okay, let's take the self-passion part. And your body confidence, right? When you
Mm.
are feeling your best, and like you said, it doesn't need to be the number on the scale. There are other coaches for that as well. But dressing in, colors that make you feel confident and clothes that make you feel confident, then you go out, you're not going to feel like everybody's looking. And frankly, after doing work on yourself, you're not going to care if they're looking at you anyway, right?
That's the key, isn't it? That's
Keep
the
the
that's the
confidence. You're
goal.
like, I know I look good, I know I
Yeah.
feel good, and I don't care what
Hmm.
you think about it,
Yeah.
right? So for some people, that might be comfier, cozier clothes. For other people, that is going to be things that show off their assets. That's different for everybody.
Yeah.
But to be confident and to be body confident, I think what's mixed up in our minds is that that means you need to lose weight and
Hmm.
and all the time, right? Of course we want to be healthy, but that's what I want people to work on is, and I am not a little person, I am a large person, but
You're gorgeous.
but that's what I mean. Like that has taken work because that is a lifelong thing that I've had to unpack.
Yeah.
And for me, what I want to be is happy and healthy and strong, right? Because I want to grow up with my son and my grandkids and be able to play on the floor with them and be on the beach making sandcastles with them. How many people are missing out on beach days with their kids and grandkids because they're not feeling it in a bathing suit, right?
Yeah.
And that is what my wish is, that I can help people so that they can be confident where they're at and point them out if there's other parts of their life that they need help with that I can't do if they want to lose weight. We've got you, right? We have this group. There we go. Like it's all that, again, being that complete woman. You can love yourself where you're at as you have a journey to get stronger or lose weight if that's what you want to do. But I want people to not miss out on their life because they're always waiting for the what ifs and I shoulds, right? Because that can be a long time. You can
Mm.
have those clothes waiting for 5 years in your dresser, and you're wasting all that time feeling bad about yourself when we can make you that complete woman and be happy as you're in your journey wherever that's going. So I don't know if that answered your question, but
Yeah, it really does on so many levels because I think there's a few things to that. A, you were speaking to me in my 30s, in my early 30s, missing out on things. And I know I'm not the only one here. Ladies, feel free to drop a comment. Has that been you? You're missing out on things because you don't like the way you look, or you're missing out on swimming because you don't want to put a bathing suit on. Um, and the other part to that is too, is that you touched on that fact of waiting until I look like this. I won't go out and bathers until I look like this. Um, and what we see is that some people never reach that. Some people never reach that elusive body that they want. And quite often it doesn't, I mean, yes, it's going to come down to your physical health, but it's actually a lot of it's going to come down to your confidence in yourself, your confidence to drive you to get that goal, your confidence to love who you are now. That's all intertwined. It is not that number on the scale. It is not that clothing size. It's in here. And I think this is where, someone like Sacha, particularly directly, Sacha, just can bring that out in everybody because it's not about the number on the scale. It's about you. 100% says Jennifer. Jennifer's in the comment, 100% it's a real thing. It is a real thing. And you can feel confident and healthy and beautiful and good in your own skin now, regardless of what the scale says. Because if there's one thing I've learned, nobody is judging you the way you think they're judging you. In fact, nobody's giving you that second look when you're in a bathing suit or in a dress or whatever it is you're wearing that you think they are. You're more worried, you're paying more attention to what you think they're thinking of you than they actually are, ladies.
yeah. I had an aha moment years ago that made me think because we were taking a lot of vacations, different countries, usually hot spots. And I always felt confident in my bathing suit when I was away. But then here we are in a tourist beach town, and I wasn't feeling that way at home.
Hmm.
And it's just like you say, we think people are thinking about us. Nobody's thinking about us as much as we're thinking about us. Nobody cares.
Nobody
Honestly,
cares. Yeah.
yes. And your kid for sure does not care. What they care about is mom not going to the beach at all? Is mom only sitting and reading? Is mom playing with me?
Yeah.
That's what they care about and that's what they remember, which is the sad thing. So I do talk to clients a lot as well about if you are showing your children how to treat you, how to treat themselves, and how to treat your future grandchildren, because this is a cycle, right?
Yeah.
So it's time to break that generational cycle.
Wow. When you put it like that, we all need to put our bathers on, ladies, and go for a swim.
When the snow is gone.
When it's your summer. It's summer here. So,
Yeah.
working with clients then, what's your favorite success story from someone who's gone through your program?
There's a few of them, but one of the more recent ones, it just made my heart so happy. When I first started working with this particular lady, she everything is on Zoom, of course, it's virtual, so I can work with anybody all over the world. And she was so far back when we were having our Zoom, right? The first time. And then getting slowly closer and closer each Zoom that we had. And the last one we had, she was full up in my face, glowing and confident, and telling me the story that her husband works away, and usually when he comes home, she's busy doing what she thought were things that she had to do, keeping the house clean, making sure the kids are this and that, not spending a lot of time with him. So he had recently, when she was telling this story, came home unexpectedly. It was not when he was supposed to come home. So he came home. That would have derailed her for sure before because she didn't know that he was on his way.
No.
Said she spent the whole weekend not worrying about what she typically would have. And she was outside playing with her kids in the snow and he said that was the best visit they have ever had. And it was just, it gave me goosebumps. And she was so happy. And that's what I mean. Like that, there, it changed her,
Yeah.
changed him, changed the kids. So that was really amazing to just be able to make such a big difference in somebody's life.
Wow. That is huge. That is massive because it would have changed their relationship too.
Yeah, just started.
Mm.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I love to hear about what other people are achieving. So what's one, if we look at everything that you've shared with us today, and you had one, I guess small, because we're all about small but impactful changes here at Innerfit. What's one small but powerful change someone could start to make today? I don't know if that makes sense. That they could make to start to feel more confident.
One small change.
Yeah. Do you have anything?
I would, yes, yeah. Well, I have a bunch, but I will think of one. Um, One small change that I would like people to do is think of yourself. So it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are right now, but think of what brought you joy and brought you passion when you were 10 years old and how that evolved into teenage, into 20s. And I want you, because I know talking to women that a lot of us aren't taking care of passions that we have. And if we are being our whole complete woman, it's going to make us
Mhm.
more confident in ourselves. So I want you to think about what brought you joy, what a passion was, and try to set time this week to do that thing, to do something that doesn't have to do with being a mom, being a wife. You are those things still. It's not going to fall apart, but think about little Amelia and do something for 15 minutes this week that she would have loved and see how that makes you feel. Because as
Mhm.
much as we love being where we work, mom, wife, all of those things, we have to still take care of Sacha, Amelia, because that is us. At the end of the day, if everything else wasn't there, we still have ourselves, and we really need to pay attention to what brings us joy. And we need to do those things every week. It's really
Mhm.
necessary. Yeah.
That is brilliant. I can already think about what it is I'm going to go and do. I hope someone else has thought about that too. That's huge.
Yeah. It's a big thing. It's a small thing that can lead to some pretty big celebrations.
Huge. And would you recommend that that could be um, something that could help them to break this cycle of self-doubt, or would you recommend something else to, if someone's feeling like they're constantly stuck in that self-doubt cycle,
Mhm.
is there something that you'd recommend to start breaking that cycle, or would that be it?
That would help a lot.
Mm,
Um, Something that I'm personally doing with a group of ladies right now is each month I'm choosing something to commit to for the 30 days. So January, I think there was
no.
31 days. There was something that I did for 31. And for that, I made everybody do something different with their, or if they chose, I shouldn't say I made them. I said, this is what I'm doing. I would like you
Encouraged. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
encourage them to change their morning routine, and try to stick with it every single day and see how that changes. And this ties into your self doubt because what I chose to do was put on music first thing in the morning and dance. And that is not something I would normally do, but it is something that little Sasha did. She was in every kind of dance class that there was. And so that joy, I like to say just joyful movement, right? It doesn't need to be anything big, But that joyful movement, the family some days got involved, and my energy and my vibration first thing in the morning was so raised by doing it that the rest of the day shifted for me.
Mhm.
Because that's
Mhm.
how I started the day. I didn't start by worrying about my to do list, right? The first thing I did was give myself some water and have a little dance. And I have that old closet that has the mirrors all the way across. So
Yeah,
all of me was on like I could see everything, right? And it didn't matter because I was so happy. And so it was all like the jiggles and the
love
wiggles
that.
and I'm in my
Love it.
pajamas and there's that and the dog is getting involved and my
Yes.
pre-teenager is staring at me rolling his eyes but then laughing, so it changed his vibrations for the day, right? And
Yeah,
it was just really fun, and so that it melted away any self-doubts that you have about yourself, and it just made me joyful in myself.
yeah.
This is me. I love me. I'm ridiculous sometimes, and that's okay. It was a really neat shift. I didn't expect it to be so huge.
That's beautiful. I love that. There's challenge, everyone. There's your challenge for the rest of February. What have we got? 10 days left in February. There's your challenge. Go do that.
Yeah, it's
Go do
really
that.
fun. Yeah.
And if people want to follow you, Sasha, to maybe do your next challenge, where is
Mhm.
that? Where can they catch that or catch more of you?
So I I show up mostly on Facebook, so they can
Mhm.
follow me on Facebook.
Beautiful.
And there is a link in my bio as well that has my free Facebook group, and
Awesome.
that is where I'm mostly doing the challenge for people. And it's all women, so it's not, it's a really safe place. It's kind of just started. It's a new baby of mine.
Mm.
Um, but that's where we're doing it. Yeah. And there's lots of
Beautiful.
ideas because people are doing different things too.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. So I've dropped just for everybody's reference, I've just dropped Sasha's Facebook link in the comments below. Please go and follow her, join her group, do some of her challenges in there, really connect in there because her work is divine. If you would like to work a little bit more closely with Sacha, there are two options. One is that you can join our Sweet Results community because Sacha is in there presenting and you can jump on live with her there. And of course, you get all the other things in the Sweet Results. So you get the physical and the internal as well in there. But to work one up, Sacha works one-on-one, guys. You've heard the amazing results that her clients are getting. So please reach out to her. Can they reach out via your Facebook profile, Sacha?
Yeah, that should work. They should be able to message. And in the cover, I believe the calendar link is also there to book a free call to see if we would work well together.
Yeah, amazing. Ladies, go and follow her, go and connect with Sacha. If you know that, everything that we've said today is something that you want to work on, Sasha's your girl. Go and connect with her, go follow her, send her a message, get connected. I promise you, you will not regret it. I'm just going to have a quick look at the comments. Yep, Jennifer said 100%. She does not judge when she goes to the gym or the beach or anywhere. The gym's another one too. So why do we think that people think about us if we're not thinking about them? 100%. If there's anything to take away from today with heart, it's that nobody cares. Nobody cares about us as much as
Nobody
we
cares about you.
think that they're caring about us. Everybody's worried about what you're thinking about them. So, if we all just sort of get on, and it's easier said than done, but sometimes if we all just get on with what we want to do in life and stop worrying about what other people think, I think we'd achieve a hell of a lot more.
And because we know that's what most people think is that, oh, everybody's thinking about me, switch that and
Hmm.
go and compliment somebody because
Yeah,
you know darn well that is going to make their day, right? Because they might be
yeah,
feeling the same way. They're at the beach, they're at the gym. Go compliment something, right? They're a mom
yeah.
that's struggling in the grocery store. Go compliment them. Like that can go a long, long way.
A long way. A long way. Absolutely. Sacha, thank you so much for joining us today. There was so much goodness in there. So many takeaways. Thank you.
Thank you. It was great being on with you guys.
We love your work. We all love your work so much. And ladies, go and follow Sacha. All right. Have an amazing day, everyone. Thanks again, my love, for joining us.
Thank you.
And I think we're off.
Let's record.
Yeah, it's still recording, but it's not broadcasting. So we should be. Just let me double check. Yeah, good. We're done.
Can you clip